Hello, my dear Leo. Welcome to my channel. This is Ron from Tarot of the Twin Sun. This is your reading for the mid-month of April 2020. I would like to invite you to perhaps chill out and relax, release any tension from your body, relax and clear your mind. Thank you. This is a situationship reading for essentially a view into the great mirror to see the energy of you, someone else, or the object of affection, something else, and the energy between you two. So it's a mirror that is reflexive and will ground, hopefully, some sort of vision to help you with your situations. Please clear your mind and we shall get started. I am working from the 1890 deck. It's a deck from Paris, France, and it's really old. So I shall treat them with grace. Please clear your mind, if you will, and we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you for your patience. Okay. There is a woodpecker outside, and usually this is indicative of a sign. If you understand that augury, which is the interpretation of bird call, was used regularly in ancient Rome by high priests or people who were given the duty to interpret signs. The woodpecker is actually a symbol of war. So there is a possibility that there is a type of war with you and the object of affection. We're not going to rule it out, but it could be a spiritual war or perhaps a war of words, a war of intentions. Okay. Okay. The portal is open. I'm doing one portal for you to clarify and give you an oracle. There is a type of equilibrium that you are searching for. There is a strong indication here of a type of war, and it is of the mind. And the person or the thing that you're dealing with is somewhat concerned with the stability of the external world. Something about this is taking most of their attention. However, you are sitting back and perhaps reclined in understanding the nature of this move, if you can call it a move. I think it's rather fixed and rather grounded of them to do this, to work with the external world or something outside of themselves or outside of the situation in order to ground themselves. But I think you also feel the sense to have some sort of retribution, but our understanding of the the material aspects of the situation. This is becoming a very interesting read. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. There is a strong sense that this person is trying to move on. Their energy is moving away, but it is also fixed into trying to have the vision, to see the most practical route about this. There's something that you understand about this situation, and you are very much coming into clarity on how something had to change, some form of transformation. And this is a situation. Whatever you're dealing with here is very deeply entwined in nostalgia, but also of an emotional depth that is very difficult to replicate or find somewhere else. There's something about you had to take the initiative to cut out something, leading to a type of interesting, interesting. There's a strong indication here that you are moving beyond the past, leaving something very deeply affecting that has deeply affected you in terms of love. It's like you're leaving a love behind to find something new, something fulfilling. If you are revisiting this person's energy, there is something about you that has transformed, and you are now finding or seeking some sort of just retribution. Now, this person is very much detached from the situation. They are foolishly going beyond and trying to find some sort of fixed way to fix themselves into a new or perhaps stabilizing situation. It's not to say that you were destabilizing for them. There was something about what they owed you that they couldn't give you. Um, and there is also releasing here some sort of path that they have to go on, but I think there will be an eventual return. What is this leading to? Yes. Um, this person is at a crossroads, and I think they're making a choice that out of impatience to actually go somewhere else. And out of this, there is a sense that they may appear foolish or perhaps too obsessed with um, a feeling of greed or a feeling of needing to have authority over the practicality of the nature of things. This situation has had a very deep effect on you, but it's also something that's almost played itself out, and you are being gifted in a way, in a way of responsibility. You're being gifted in a just retribution, some form of new love. Okay. There's also a possibility that they return, and if they do return, there is a strong indication that the Ten of Cups will be reached, with the Eight of Cups plus the Two of Cups, but at a sacrifice. They have to sacrifice something, and it is perhaps um, their need to find passions in the external world. They are passionately driven to become ambitious and find a great wealth outside of this situation, which is, it's admirable. But I think you're going through an incredible transformation that is pointing to the death of something here. It's pointing to the death of the Eight of Cups. Okay, as you can see. So the death card is pointing down here to the Feu Blonde, which is the death of essentially trying to run away, trying to escape, trying to disregard a great connection from the past. And perhaps you are welcoming this at the same time. It's something that has to occur, but you know that it won't last. This person may come back, but it won't be in the near future. It may take quite some time. It's a slow transformation. Meanwhile, sit easy, and there's a possibility that you will find some form of retribution here. No. Yep, I want to keep death here. Okay, so death is your oracle. As well, justice. This is your side here. We have the Hanged Man, La Prudence, in your conscious realm. We have the World in reverse here. Leo energy is here. as well as defiance, which is the Nine of Swords in reverse. Strong polarity, some sort of thing happened here that was a sense of tension on the soul level. On your partner's side, there is the Nine of Rods, as well as the Ten of Rods in reverse, as well as the Queen of Swords looking away from the situation. This person is very protective. They feel like they've been through a lot and they feel burnt out in a certain way. You feel like there's no way for you to reach out. There's some sort of revisitation about this situation that you want to occur, but also you're trying to transcend fear. It's as if you have a fearless sort of mind when it comes to the soul connection here. And this connection is based on emotional intelligence as well as your ability to communicate. However, this person is very, very passive about communication, and you are a bit on the very unconscious level, a bit fearful of communicating with this person because it triggers you in some sort of way. Now, between you and the mirror, there is a strong indication of both of you consciously trying to get over some sort of system of regret here, some expectation also to embrace a form of cooperative communication that would be somewhat secretive. There's a secretive dimension to this also. Yeah, right. So this connection is very much based on the tension, how far you can push the tension. There's a lot of expectation here, my dear Leo, that is quite ungratifying, and both of you are seeing each other as having to look into your own inner self, and it's sort of repelling each other. There's a lot of disharmony here. Okay, too many thoughts, too many emotional expectations, a feeling of being shady in one way, shape, or form when communicating. There's a game being played here, and it's one of revisitation as well as burnout here. Uh, it's one that requires transformation as well as the need to understand the justice in the situation, where things are balanced, how they are not. Okay, this is a situation with your object of affection, with your lover, your potential partner. There's something here that has to do with trying to balance out some great disharmony. Okay, there's a lot of thoughts here and a lot of psychic and intellectual restrictions on communication here. On the soul level, there's an inability to actually say what you mean. However, you're being challenged to do so, but it's very difficult because on a soul level, on an unconscious level, your mind is actively acting on these urges, and it becomes a psychological sort of issue between you two. This person is very concerned because of this situation with you, with dealing with the external world. Also, I feel like there's like a third party element here because the King of Pentacles was looking that way, the Fool was moving that way. I think this person is dealing with a new energy or an old energy and trying to understand how to let that fizzle out in some sort of patient way, but they're losing patience, and there's a lot of fire or dynamism, okay, in this. They had to make that choice with the Two of Rods in the reverse or in the upright. They had to make that choice to go on the Fool's path, and there's a great deal of burnout or like burden. It's as if anything that they try to do and they can't control it. They just can't control trying to make a choice or make something happen. They actively go in a passive aggressive way trying to do things. They're triggered by a lot of things, but then they sort of like that. It sets them on fire, and then they have a lot of motivation or they have a lot of ambition, okay? Without the sort of elegance of, say, Libra, they don't have enough patience, or perhaps they don't know how to measure things out, to take things in measured steps. There's a great deal of you trying to understand how any toxic elements have arisen out of this, and you're trying to understand and cure yourself out of this with the Hanged Man. A need to tempt anything that may be pleasurable or perhaps seductive or perhaps exotic, and to be able to heal yourself immediately at the get-go from whatever this is. There's a great lesson to be had here with the Hanged Man. You aren't able to reach out, but you do want to revisit on this situation to understand, not out of a place of fear, but out of a place of communication, how things panned out. There is a strong psychic connection here, but it's sort of like a hole or like some sort of rift that you can still tap into this person's energy and they yours. But the focus is not on that. It's on self-improvement as well as self-psychological understanding. Okay, there's harmony in that. There's a lot of dark energy here when it comes to the mental activity between you and this object of affection, as well as the need to understand through transformation and through the energy of death, very primal urges that are very deep that affect the situation and are quite emotional in nature, and you're trying to balance that out, trying to find understanding how these emotions can be balanced out. When it comes to the karma of this situation, I don't know. I don't think there is something in the past. In the past, you probably knew each other as people in correspondence, people who were in communication but never physically manifested anything. There's a detached quality about your soul energy, and out of this detached energy, there is a possibility you may be garnering some sort of karma that has to do with a connection that is almost it's like new or pure in some sort of way, but cannot be in this lifetime at least, or at least for now, cannot be properly imprinted, okay, cannot be properly grounded. There's a lack of grounding here. It's a connection based on communication that is a bit questionable, as well as a lot of fire energy, and then some sort of a release of expectations on an emotional level. There's an inability to find nourishment, let's say. Right. Okay, I am fairly drained, but I thank you, and thank you for letting me look into this interesting and difficult situation. Leah's been having tough. I mean, that last Leo reading was really tough as well. Leah's been having a tough. All the fixed signs are having a tough time right now, I think. So, I wish you well. If you would like a private consultation, I am available. You can find me in my About section. Otherwise, peace, love, and grace to you in this path of transformation, as well as the revisitation of something that is potentially toxic for you. I do hope you heal and find properly your sense of balance and your sense of truth in this. Okay? Right. So please take care and thank you. Bye bye.